September 10, 2022 marked as the World Suicide Prevention Day. And in today's video, I want to create awareness to my community and to all those watching me from different parts of the world. At one point in life, we may have lost a friend, a loved one. It could be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, or somebody who is related to you, or somebody you love dearly. You could have lost a neighbor, or you may have had a statement stating that we lost so-and-so because of suicide, or so-and-so committed suicide. So whenever these statements are made, it does invoke some feelings in us, feelings of sympathy, feelings of sadness. And sometimes if this person was close to us, we feel like failures because we were not there for them, or we did not pay enough attention, and so many other emotions get involved. Well, hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. In my country, Kenya, we say karibu sana. If you're not new, you are a regular to Conversations with Coach Jane. Welcome back to yet another episode. I am Coach Jane Jogu. I am a transformational mindset coach, and I desire to bring value to my community by encouraging a mindset shift, particularly to women and youth. So with regards to today's topic, I'm going to share my screen so that I can share some slides I had prepared for today. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So as I had mentioned before, September 10, 2022 marked as the World Suicide Prevention Day. It is also a good day, or it's also a good time for us to create awareness around suicide rates. Suicide is defined as when people harm themselves with the goal of ending their life, and they die as a result. So you have the thought in your mind, you take the action, and then the outcome still comes out. Every suicide is a tragedy because, as I'd mentioned before, it invokes some feelings inside us. That those, if you lost a loved one, it affects the family more. According to the World Health Organization and the Global Burden of Disease study estimates that almost 800,000 people die from suicide every year. That's a very big number for us to lose people from. And out of the number also, there's a certain number of people who attempt suicide. And an attempt or suicide attempt, it refers to when people harm themselves with the goal of ending their life, but they do not die. So they had the thought, they took the action, but the outcome they intended did not take place. Suicide does not have a specific target group, no. It does not target men or women or youths, no. People of all genders, ages, ethnicities can be at risk of suicide. So it is something that a topic that people need to pay more attention towards it. So some of the causes of suicide include, and they're not limited to, there's so many causes of suicide. I just limited the number to 10 for the sake of this video. But these are the most common ones that I could think of or I could find online. And one is bullying or discrimination, including racism. I remember when I was growing up, I've had like 2 or 3 people who committed suicide because they were bullied. Others, it was because of discrimination. And mostly in the States, we see a lot of racism going on. So these people, they tend to feel like, I can't do this anymore. And they tend to take their lives. Number 2, loneliness or isolation. Sometimes they say when you're lonely, that's when the evil thoughts come in your mind. And one of the evil thoughts is suicide attempt or committing suicide in the long run. Number 3 is feelings of inadequate or a failure. So whenever we feel like we are not good enough, when you feel like, I don't deserve to be in this world, you're planting a seed in your head. And the more you plant this seed, the more it's growing. And then these feelings of suicide, they start becoming more and more and more and more. And eventually now you find that someone is attempting to take the action. So by feeling a failure or inadequacy, it plants the seed. And the more you plant the seed, the more it grows. The next one is money problems. Yes, poverty can be a trigger to committing suicide. And this goes back to the initial point when you're feeling you're not good enough, you don't deserve to be in this world. Because when you see other people thriving, you feel like, why not me? And then that leads you to start planting the seed in your head. It makes you start planting the seed in your head. The next thing is depression. Depression is a very broad topic. I always say that if you feel like you have depression or if you feel like you're depressed, normally we say a statement of, I feel I'm depressed. We take it lightly. I always say seek attention. Go to a professional and seek attention. The next one is cultural pressures such as forced marriage. In some communities to date, some communities today that they are forcing people to, they're still practicing forced marriage. And in this day and age, it might push someone to commit suicide because they don't want that person or they're just not there. And then the next one is adjusting to a big change. Yes, sometimes change can be good, and sometimes change, if not looked in the proper way, it can trigger some negative emotions. And then the next one is mental health problems. If you know anyone who is experiencing mental health problems, I highly recommend consulting a specialist so that we can prevent them to planting the seeds that will eventually lead to suicide. The next one is addiction or substance abuse. Most cases we find like drug abusers, when they lack that drug, they tend to look for the easy way out. And one of the easy way out tends to be suicide. And addiction, it doesn't have to be drugs. There's so many forms of addiction. So you have to be aware of all these things or these small things that can trigger you to plant a seed in your head. And then the final one, which is the biggest one, it's relationships. Relationship does not have to be romantic. It could be friendship, it could be a work relationship, it could be a family relationship, it could be an acquaintance, and what we are calling today situational ship relationships. So all these forms of relationship, they can contribute to planting the seed of suicide in our heads. So when you're having these relationships, it's important to identify if they're really worth it for you to even kill yourself. So this leads to my next topic, which is going to be what you can do to help reduce the suicidal rates around you. And it's worth noting that when a person is feeling suicidal, it is likely that they have felt increasingly hopeless and worthless for some time. They may not know what has caused them to feel this way, but it is often a combination of the factors we have mentioned before and so many factors. So number one, what can you do to reduce the suicidal rates? One is to be vigilant. In this day and age, they are the smallest of things that trigger our emotions. And one of the smallest of things is social media. So we are encouraged to be our brothers and sisters keeper, keep a watchful eye, and any alarming triggers and intervene. So if you feel like somebody you if you feel like you're concerned about a person, I'm not saying everybody's suicidal, but if you feel like you get concerned about a person, it's always good to talk to that person. Pay attention. Let us not wait until the end time we hear like so-and-so committed suicide or so-and-so attempted to commit suicide while you were able to provide the help that they needed. The next one is awareness. It is each and everyone's responsibility to be aware of the suicidal triggers. When you're aware of something, you are able to influence the outcome. You cannot influence the outcome of an exam if you're not aware that you're going to take the exam, yeah? So if you know you're going to take an exam, what do? You prepare for the exam. So if we are aware of the suicidal triggers, we are able to influence the outcome by maybe seeking help or attention from the people concerned. So when I'm conducting my coaching sessions, one of the initial questions I ask before we dive in is, what is the result that you're looking from this particular session? I am planting the seed in my client and telling my client that we are here, we are going to do the brainstorming together, but do you have an outcome that you expect out of this? So having an awareness influences our behavior. Number three, do not be quick to judge. Yes. Sometimes people come to us seeking help, but we either ignore them or start judging. Sometimes people with suicidal thoughts want help, but the statement, what will people say or what will he or she say when they go to them, is what is stopping them from getting the help they require. So in your circle of friends, I encourage everyone to at least have two people whom they create a bond. Yeah, you create a bond with those people that they are aware that no matter what, they can always count on you. You can be their listening ear and not be judgmental. That way you're going to be able to prevent planting of seeds of suicidal rates. The next one is boldness. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no shame in seeking for help. And once we have this mentality in our heads, we are able to seek professional help in time to prevent us from harming ourselves. Remember that life is precious, and there is a reason why each and every one of us is on this earth. And then the final one is get a coach or a mentor. So with a coach, I'll make the distinction between a coach and a mentor. With a coach, you have clearly defined goals and mutual accountabilities. A coach is someone who guides you. On the other hand, a mentor is someone who offers advice or answers to questions you may have. So myself, I am a coach, but in some situations, I am a mentor. So once you have someone in your corner, you can always work on issues that may trigger you and in return prevent the suicidal thoughts. Remember, there's so many things that can trigger the suicidal thoughts. Think of it this way. Prevention is better than cure. So having a coach or a mentor is a good way for you to prevent the fire before it starts. It's a good way for you to put down the fire, the triggers before they even come to you. As we conclude today's, where do I end this? Yes, stop share. Okay, so as we conclude today's episode, I want you to take a moment and I want you to take a moment of silence for all those we have lost due to suicide. Okay. And then I want you to take another moment and make a pledge to yourself that you will not lose another person due to suicide. You vow to be vigilant and importantly, be your brother or sister's keeper. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the end of today's episode. Suicide is real, and you and I, we all have the power to reduce the cases. From the stated 800, we can reduce the cases down. Make sure you check in on your friends and loved ones and remind them that someone cares about them. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.